That's nice.
Hello, I think we're live. Why do we look so...
I think
the lighting's like freaking out.
It is. I need something to like white balance it or something. Are you good?
I don't know.
Are you good? No? Yes? No? Okay.
Hopefully. All right. Hello.
Scooch this way a little.
This way?
There we go. Sorry.
It's still like freaking out.
Anyway,
hi.
Hello.
Today we're discussing children's books that were published before 1980.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And I had planned to read A Little Princess by Frances Hodgson Burnett, but I didn't have time to finish it. I'm only on like page 65. So, but I also thought that since I read this last year, The Wizard of Oz by L. Frank Baum, that I could talk about this one also or instead.
Yeah, that sounds good. And I'm sorry, I keep getting distracted by the lighting. So
yeah, I don't know why it's doing that.
Looking weird, that's why. But and I read The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett.
It's like every time we hold something up, it freaks out.
Wish it would stop doing that. You think that it could white balance on my skin, but apparently...
or my shirt.
Yeah.
And we're drinking some beers, because what goes better with children's books than
a beer?
Alcoholic beverage.
Yeah, they mix. It's fine.
And Megan got these while she was in Michigan last week.
I did, and they're in these cute little
short fat bottles. Kind of adorable. Mine is Archangel Summer Wheat, and these are from North Peak Brewing
Company.
Yeah, okay. The way it was written is weird.
Brewing North Peak Company. Yeah, and mine is an amber ale. So we'll see how these are.
All right, and if any of you guys read some children's books, then let us know what you read and how you enjoyed it. Or if you didn't read anything recently, then, what were some of your favorites
when you were a kid?
Children's books?
Yeah.
Especially if they were like classic, older than... what? I'm sure children were the reason alcohol was invented. Most likely.
Solid. That's solid.
Most likely. We don't have kids and we still drink, so... Yeah. If we did have kids, imagine how much more we would drink.
Oh, Lord.
But A Little Princess, like I said, I'm only 65 pages in. So far, it's all right. Yeah. It's kind of, I think that it'll change because I think something happens to, like, change her circumstances, but the main character is, like, too perfect. So she's kind of annoying because she's just good at everything and just she's literally, like, the perfect child. And so that's a little obnoxious, but I think, if I'm not mistaken, that
my dogs are playing.
If I'm not mistaken, I think that like her circumstances change, and so we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I mean, the writing's fine. Otherwise, it's all right.
Yeah, so far. I loved The Secret Garden. I loved this book when I was a kid. I loved the movie when I was a kid. And I still loved it. It's really cute. And I like how she is a little asshole in the beginning of the book. And then...
so the opposite of this one.
Yeah, but then she realizes, like, hey, well, kind of. She, like, realizes, hey, I'm a little asshole. And then she decides not to be.
Well, so that's nice. I loved that book as a kid, too. I haven't read it since I was probably, like, 10. And I liked the movie a lot, too. So I would like to reread it sometime soon and see how I feel about it. But I thought, since I didn't finish A Little Princess, that I'd talk a little bit about The Wizard of Oz as well, which I read last year. And The Wizard of Oz is, of course, a movie that most of us have probably seen, and I watched it all the time as a kid because my dad fucking loved it. So every time it came on TV, we had to watch it because he thinks The Cowardly Lion is hilarious. Anytime The Cowardly Lion does something, adorable. My dad laughs his ass off. But the book is a a fair bit different, I'd say. I mean, the overall plot is the same, but I was surprised that the Wicked Witch is kind of barely in the book.
Really?
Yeah, like the Wicked Witch of the West. She's not really in it. And I'm trying to remember. Yeah, she does kill the Wicked Witch of the East, but I don't remember if the Wicked Witch of the West is that upset that she killed her sister. But anyway, yeah, so that part is very minimal in the book. Like, she's mainly just trying to get to Oz so she can go home, and she isn't really being pursued by the Wicked Witch.
Okay. So it's a little different then.
Yeah, but she has to, I think the Oz, if I recall correctly, I think the Wizard of Oz sends her, like, she gets there and then he's like, well, before I help you, you have to go kill the Wicked Witch of the West.
Oh.
And then come back and then I'll help you.
So she's kind of pursuing the witch instead of the other way around. Yeah. Interesting. These editions that you have are so cute.
Yeah, I love these. They're the Puffin Classics, Puffin Children's Classics. And they're so pretty. I love them.
They are so pretty.
And they all have illustrations. This one has illustrations by Marjorie Gill. And this one, illustrations by David McKee. But yeah, I enjoyed The Wizard of Oz, the book, but I think I do kind of prefer the movie. Mm-hmm. But I grew up with the movie, so that could be part of why. But yeah, the book was pretty good. Let's see. Reading, it says, always wanted to read The Secret Garden. You just sold me on moving it up to the TBR.
Yeah, you should. It's really good. It's really cute. And like I said, the little girl kind of learns about herself. And, because she starts out as kind of a lonely child. No one really pays attention to her. And but she doesn't really realize that she's lonely or that she's an asshole until she has to move into a different environment and encounter other people and not be catered to all the time. And then she realizes, like, hey, I'm an asshole, but also I'm kind of lonely and I would like to enjoy people.
Yeah.
So,
next up, there may or may not be a ghost in your house. Flickering lights. The lights aren't flickering.
It's the computer. So there may or may not be a ghost in my computer right now.
Yeah. I don't know why it's doing that. It just started like the last time we did a live show.
It did a little bit.
Doing that. Yeah. A little at the end. And then now it's doing it the whole time. So that's fun.
That's real. Which this is a pretty old laptop, especially by like laptop technology standards. So like maybe it's just taking a shit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess I could bring my laptop next time. I think it has a webcam, probably. Pretty much all the laptops
I think
have one. So maybe we'll do that next time.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's a ghost in my laptop. Either that or my laptop is just taking a shit. So if anybody knows technology, I don't know. I can barely figure out how to work my phone. So
yeah. But one thing, whenever I read children's books as an adult, I'm always kind of struck by how fucked up they are sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, there's really messed up shit.
There's some messed up children's
books. And I'm always like, this is inappropriate. But then I'm like, I read that stuff all the time as a kid.
Yeah.
And I'm fine. Like, especially if you read Roald Dahl books, which I read a ton of Roald Dahl.
Those are fucked up.
Like, those books are messed up.
Mm-hmm. Well, like, even in The Secret Garden, like, there's a little boy in this book whose mom died and his dad can't stand to look at him because he just makes him think of his mom, and like they treat this kid like he's gonna die, and so he's like convinced that he's gonna die.
That's awful.
It's real fucked up. They keep him locked up in a room.
Yeah, another thing with children's books is that often it seems the protagonist is an orphan.
Yeah.
Like one or both of their parents always has to be dead.
Yep, the little girl in this one is an orphan.
Yeah, the girl in this one, her mom has died, and I have a feeling maybe her dad will end up dying. I don't know. Like, fuck that. I haven't, obviously, I've never read this book. And I think, isn't Dorothy, I mean, she lives with her aunt and uncle, right?
Yeah.
So I think her parents are not in the picture.
Yeah.
And then you got Harry Potter's an orphan.
Annie, little orphan Annie.
Little orphan Annie. Yeah, it just seems like.
Well, and that was fucked up in this book too, because the little girl becomes an orphan because her parents die of I don't know, like a malaria outbreak or some such. Mm-hmm. And everyone in her little compound, all of her servants and her parents all die. And she's just in her nursery, shut up in her nursery. Until someone comes along and finds her. I'm like, that's fucked up. This poor kid.
Yeah. So I don't know why authors feel that children always have to be orphans in stories.
Yeah.
But it seems to be the case. I guess you have to add some sort of sad circumstances in their background. I don't know. And that's one thing that I kind of liked about, I just somewhat recently read Skullduggery Pleasant by Derek Landy.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked that the main character, both of her parents were still living, and she actually had a really good relationship.
That's awesome.
Although she does start lying to them about, the fact that she's going and solving crimes with a talking skeleton man.
Probably, kind of thing. So from your parents.
Not great, but
yeah.
But yeah, I liked that it wasn't as tropey, I guess, as a lot of children's books are. What's beeping?
My washer is.
Oh, it's is your house on fire?
It's the ghost.
The ghost.
The ghost. But yeah, no, the name of the first chapter of this book is "There Is No One Left."
Oh God. Children's books are depressing, man.
Yeah. And the one thing, the beef I had with my copy of this is is that print
it's
really tiny?
Yeah, it is tiny.
I was okay, I know my vision is terrible, but this print, I don't know if you can really see it, but oh fuck, I'm pissing off the computer ghost again. Its print is really tiny.
Yeah, it's really small. I have the Secret Garden in the Puffin Classics version too, but the print inside these is quite nice sized.
And there's a classic literature dictionary in the back of this.
Oh.
So if you didn't know what some of the words meant, you could look them up.
That's nice. I also noticed when I was reading this that they throw in, it's, a children's book, so it is written using mostly simple words.
Mm-hmm.
Simple words?
Simple words.
Simple words. Simple words. But she'll throw in a big word. There was a word somewhere that I was I don't even know what that means, but I can't remember what it was. Yeah, so I kind of was oh, that's kind of nice, because then you get
you expand your vocabulary and
Meg said The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe and the Golden Compass. They're all orphans too. Yeah, I've never read the Golden Compass, so I don't know.
I haven't either.
That one, but
I know in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, their mother sends them away during the war. I think she does die at some point.
Yeah, that's another one that it's been since I was probably 10 or 11 since I read that. So
I read it in undergrad. I read it for an assignment. For undergrad, sorry.
I saw the movie when it came out.
Oh yeah. Well, there's three of them.
Yeah. 3 movies. Is there? I only saw the first one, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Because there's the one with Prince Caspian in it.
Did they make more movies? I thought they just made The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe and stopped.
No, they made another one or two after that. I can't remember.
Yeah.
How many.
Yeah, I read that entire series when I was a kid, but the only books that really stood out to me that I still really remember is The Magician's Nephew and The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, which were the first 2 books. Sweet Jesus, that print makes my head spin off. Spin off. Spin off your body.
Spin off your body. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think that this edition is intended for children necessarily, but it fucks me up, man.
Yeah.
I kept the longer I would read it, the closer it would drift to my face, and then finally I was oh, okay, well, here we are. But yeah.
We're trying to fix our lighting.
I think it's just your laptop trying to...
Yeah, it's trying to white balance or something, and it just can't figure it out. Because every time we like hold something up is when it
It
happens.
starts to freak out.
Yeah, it's weird.
My husband is off camera trying to brainstorm our.
Yeah, because anytime we change from just us sitting here.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll try to not hold things in front of the camera, I guess.
We'll do our best to not piss off laptop ghosts.
Yes. Yeah, but other tropes in children's books I've noticed. Well, there's the one that bugs the shit out of me, which is that the bad people are always like described as fat and ugly, and and the good people are always very beautiful and pretty and blah blah blah. And it's like, that's not always real life.
No.
Sometimes ugly people are very nice,
and sometimes
pretty people are fucking terrible. And so that just annoys me because I feel like it's worse that it's in children's books because it's teaching children to be shallow assholes.
Right.
And also, if you're a kid and you're like fat or not conventionally pretty or whatever, then you're gonna feel terrible about yourself too. So I really hate that, and I wish that authors would stop doing that in children's books. Because I read Lisa and Poe a couple years ago, and that's a more recent children's book, and it's still, the author still did that in the book. And that was the only thing about that book that I disliked. And I mean, I get it because it's kind of a fairy tale thing, and a lot of children's books are based on fairy tales or try to be kind of fairy tale-esque. But yeah, it just bothers me.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of shitty.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of like in The Secret Garden, the little girl, when she's an asshole, is like a scrawny, unattractive little girl. And then as she like grows personally, then she like gains weight and fills out, and her complexion's better. And
so as she becomes a better person, she becomes
cuter.
Yeah. And I will say, like, in this one, there's a character it's like a little girl she's described as being like fat and kind of unattractive and also really stupid.
Oh.
So that sucks, but she's actually not like a bad character. Like Sarah, the main character, actually becomes her friend and is really nice to her because everyone else picks on her. And so that's kind of nice, but still she's like definitely like the dumb one in school. So, and that's like a stereotype that fat people are dumb.
Right.
So that's annoying too.
That's fair.
But Sarah in the book is kind of, I mean, she's kind of described as like not being conventionally pretty, but still being pretty, if that makes sense.
That makes sense.
It's like she doesn't know she's pretty.
Oh.
Which is
another
annoying thing.
Yeah.
She doesn't
She's beautiful, but she doesn't know it.
You have to not know you're pretty
in order to still be attractive. Because if you know that you're pretty, then you're just vain.
Do you consider yourself to be Mary from Secret Garden or Anne from Green Gables?
I don't know if I've read Anne of Green Gables.
I listened to it on audiobook like a few years ago, but it was not a professionally done audiobook. It was one, there's an app called LibriVox where you can get free audiobooks, but they're often not, they're just read by like volunteers, I think. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I listened to it on there and I didn't care for it, but that could have partially been because
the narration was not.
But yeah, for me, it's been so long since I read The Secret Garden that I don't remember Mary that much.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I can identify with certain things about Mary in The Secret Garden. I mean, she loves green things, and so do I, which is a recent development.
Yeah.
But
have you seen the Netflix show, the Anne of Green Gables show?
I did not know that.
No, I haven't seen it. I remember there was like was it a mini series or something? on PBS when I was a kid that I think I watched. I think my sister was really into it. But yeah, I don't remember. Yeah, but I was back to the fucked up stuff in children's books. Like, there's so many books where the villains, like, literally will, eat or kill children or something. I'm like, that's terrifying.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, it's like one of my favorite books as a kid was the BFG. And the giants, except for the big friendly giant, the giants literally kidnap children from their homes and eat them.
Yeah, well, in like Hansel and Gretel, which that's like one of the like classic fairy tales, which those are pretty much all fucked up. Yeah. But yeah, she like keeps kids to eat them.
Yeah. So
well, and like even the nursery rhyme, like Ring Around the Rosie, is about the fucking plague.
Yeah, that's true. But I guess maybe, I don't know, maybe parents use those stories to like keep kids in line.
Maybe, I don't know.
You better behave, or a monster's gonna,
giant's gonna come eat you.
Literally eat you.
Gonna eat you.
Eat you.
Eat you.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think what some of my favorite like classic children's books were as a kid. But I don't know if I read a lot of like ones published before 1980.
Yeah, I read some of the Nancy Drew books. I know that my grandma used to buy me like all the Nancy Drew books. So I've read those. I read the Babysitter's Little Sister and the Babysitter's Club, but those weren't published before 1980. I think those were in the 80s or 90s.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I read quite a bit of Babysitter's Little Sister. I didn't read a lot of Babysitter's Club. I read a few of those books, but for some reason I didn't get into those ones as much.
I like the Little Sister ones better.
And then I read The Boxcar Children.
Yep, I read that.
Yeah, I don't think I really read any Nancy Drew, but I read a shitload of Boxcar Children.
I liked the Boxcar.
They were orphans.
They lived in a fucking boxcar.
Was Nancy Drew an orphan?
I don't remember. I honestly don't remember a whole lot about Nancy Drew.
I don't know. But what else was popular when I was a kid? The Bailey School Children was really popular, but I don't think I read a ton of it. Mm-mm. I think I read a few.
I read a couple of Goosebumps books, but I wasn't like super into it.
See, I never read Goosebumps, which is kind of weird because you'd think that'd be
right up your alley.
Yeah, but I didn't really do horror stuff when I was a kid. Not until I was in like middle school, which I guess I could have read the Goosebumps books then, but I don't know why I just didn't. Also, I think it was just kind of ruined for me because I watched one episode of the show, and it was the dumbest fucking episode. It was the one about the evil sponge, which is dumb as shit.
Really lame.
So I was like, this is so stupid, and I never.
They have some goofy ones. I can't remember if this was
Murphy.
Bud. Murphy. No does be for Roche, bud.
Anyway,
yeah, I didn't know if this was, maybe you guys can tell me, Are You Afraid of the Dark or Goosebumps? But there was an episode where I think the high school was haunted or something, and the water in the shower of the locker room like boiled people to death. They would just go in there and it just was getting like hotter and hotter and hotter, and then they just died.
Murphy.
But
That's Baking said, I worshipped R.L. Stine, John Bellairs, and Christopher Pike. I don't know that I read any of those. I've heard of Christopher Pike. What did Christopher Pike write? I don't remember. I don't know who John Bellairs is. Ooh, you know what book I loved? Hatchet.
I've never read that.
Really? I loved that book as a kid, and I think it was called The Far Side of the Mountain.
I've heard of that, but I have not read that either.
Yeah, I loved both of those. And I remember in middle school vowing to like never read books about animals ever again.
No.
Because they always die, and I was getting so upset because I read I know I read Black Beauty. Does the horse die in Black Beauty?
I think so.
It does.
Yeah.
I read Black Beauty. I read A Dog Called Kitty.
I did not read that one.
I read The Call of the Wild, which the dog doesn't die in that, but it's still it's still sad. I thought it was anyway. You could look at it 2 different ways, but I was sad for the dog.
Fuck Where the Red Fern Grows.
Oh yes, Where the Red Fern Grows. We had to read that aloud in class, which was just cruel. Murphy. He doesn't want to go outside. Poor Murphy.
Poor bud. His life is hard.
Anyway. Does anybody have any classic children's books that they loved? I'm still trying to think. I think I read The Wind in the Willows, but I don't remember.
That sounds familiar. I know I read a lot of those Berenstain Bear books because my little brother liked them, so I would read them to him.
Some of those. Have you seen the Mandela Effect thing about the Berenstain Bears?
That is crazy. I was trying to explain that to somebody the other day. The whole Mandela Effect thing.
Yeah. I think it's just people misremembering things, to be honest.
Yeah, I think
because Berenstein, that's a more common last name is for someone to have a Steen or sign. So I think that people just remember
it that way because it's easier. That makes sense.
And I will say there was one about the movie. People thought that Sinbad was in a movie called Shazam, where he played a genie, but it's actually Shaq was in a movie called Kazam.
Aha!
I think that's how it goes.
I think that's.
And I remember, I knew it was Shaq. I remembered it being Shaq, but I did think that it was Shazam. But again, that's a more common word,
than Kazam. Yeah.
Anyway,
Mandela Effect.
This turned into a conspiracy theory show.
It did.
Uh-oh. Our chat just disappeared.
Well, hell.
What happened?
We're having all kinds of technical difficulties. There we go.
I don't know why that happened. I remember when I was 6 years old, it was the day after I saw Hocus Pocus on VHS, and I walked to the library and right in the lobby and said to myself, I am not a baby anymore. That's when I discovered horror books.
Awesome.
I think I was a baby. Because I remember the Ernest Halloween movie scaring the shit out of me as a kid.
I was a big baby about what I would watch. I was a giant sissy about watching things, but I would read fucked up stuff and be totally fine.
Yeah. Well, I did get, I think it was when I met my best friend Whitney, she was super into horror, and so she kind of got me into it. And I remember reading, one of the books we loved was, The Dollhouse Murders. We loved that book.
Dollhouse Murders.
And, do you remember the Face on the Milk Carton? That book? I think it was by Caroline B. Cooney or something. I don't know. But then I started reading, in middle school, I started reading Dean Koontz, which is not children's books, but yeah.
No, I read a lot of Mary Higgins Clark in middle school.
Me too. And Louis L'Amour. I read a lot of Louis L'Amour. And I read, instead of reading Harry Potter, I did not read Harry Potter as a child, which I kind of am kicking myself because I was the perfect age to grow up with Harry Potter. But I did read The Lord of the Rings. I read that instead because it's better. Hipster child, and I was everyone's reading Harry Potter, so it sucks, and I'm going to read The Lord of the Rings. I'm going to read Lord of the Rings. When did Harriet the Spy come out? I loved that book.
I
don't know. I feel maybe it's a little more recent.
Maybe?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure if I ever read Harriet the Spy. I remember the movie.
I do remember the movie. Who was that little girl that was in that movie?
I don't know.
I can't remember. She was popular for a while.
Was Frankie Muniz in that movie?
Yeah,
remember Frankie Muniz? Come on, lighting, just stop. Stop flashing. You're gonna give people seizures. Again, had the Michelle Trachtenberg. I don't know how to say her last name.
Trachtenberg. Thank you.
Yeah, Thank you. She was a pretty popular. Wasn't she in Buffy the Vampire Slayer? Like as her little sister or something?
Maybe. I only recently started watching Buffy, and I haven't watched it in a while.
Yeah, I've never watched Buffy, so I don't know.
I was told I would like it, and I do like it because it is like sheer 90s cheeseball.
Yeah.
Just cheesy.
I watched Charmed as an adult.
I loved Charmed.
And it was fun, cheesy 90s shit. Also, like, they were all about just having their nipples out.
Oh, yeah.
Then.
Oh, yeah. Like no
always,
bras.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just, here's my nipples. Broadcasting them.
The thing. She played Dawn on Buffy.
Okay.
What was I going to say?
I'm sorry, I just let my dog in. I feel really bad for him right now.
Yeah. He's very sad, and it's hard to deny Murphy anything because he's so cute.
That's why he's spoiled.
Hey, bud. What was that about?
She always has to bite him when he comes in.
Oh.
And then sometimes the biting turns to humping, and it gets crazy.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about, the Mandela effect.
Yeah.
Because it's named after Nelson Mandela because people remember him dying in prison.
But he did not.
He didn't.
No, he did not.
Yeah, and there's a ton of them. If you look up like Mandela effect, there's like tons of
them.
Yeah, like one of them is like the Kit Kat. Is it hyphenated or not?
Oh.
And I think it's not, but most people think it's.
I think it's also not. But then I know Star Wars is often misquoted because the whole Luke, I am your father thing.
Yeah.
So I think he says like, no, I am your father or something.
I feel like, was that a thing before Tommy Boy though? Because he doesn't. Because like there's the scene where Chris Farley says into a fan, "Luke, I am your father." So I'm like, did he start that?
Is that a thing?
Or was it misquoted before that?
I don't know.
What color did you first dye your hair?
Like ever?
Ever? I remember the first time I did a somewhat, unnatural color was in high school. My sister dyed my hair black with red streaks in it. But I don't know. I don't remember if I had ever dyed my hair before that.
I think the first time I dyed my hair, I was in like 7th grade, and I dyed it like burgundy because my mom wouldn't let me do crazy colors, so I had to do like somewhat natural colors.
Yeah, we weren't allowed to at my school. Really? I went to a public school, but we weren't allowed to have weird colored hair. You couldn't wear. The girls got in trouble for wearing weird colored lipstick. Like
weird,
yeah, because it was distracting to the other students. But yeah, and then the first time I put purple streaks in it when I was like 19 or something, and then I put orange and blue streaks, and it was. When I watched it, it turned into this weird mess of like greenish. It almost looked camo. It was weird, but yeah.
I think like the first crazy color I put in it, I put teal streaks in it, which Whitney did.
Oh yeah, yeah, I remember that.
Because she was like, I don't think you really want to bleach your hair. And I was like, oh, whatever, it's fine. She's like, no, I don't think that you understand exactly what you would be getting yourself into. I was like, okay. So we did teal highlights, and then the first color I like full on dyed my whole hair was blue.
Yeah, I don't remember what color I did my whole head first. I don't remember. It might have been purple because I know I did that like ultraviolet color.
Oh yeah,
for a while. That might have been it, but I'm not sure. It's been a while. I've been dyeing my hair weird colors for like 10 years now, I think.
Yeah, you've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah, and I think the only color, with the exception of the one time that I did those red streaks in high school, I think the only color I've really never done is bright, like Little Mermaid red.
Fire engine
red, yeah. So I'll probably do that sometime just to say I've done it.
Yeah, I accidentally did that once. I had a box dye of red, and it wasn't like fire engine red. It was just like a regular ass red. And the girl who dyed it for me didn't put it on super well, so I had to get another box of it to like cover the splotchy parts. And then when I double dyed it, it was like red, like this red.
Really?
Yeah, super red.
Me and my two best friends in high school decided to get. They used to have this foam that you put in your hair, and it was like a temporary dye.
Oh.
And they had, I don't remember what brand it was or anything, but they had black, and they didn't have like any super crazy colors, I don't think, but they had like black. I know Whitney got black, my friend Holly got blonde, and I got like a coppery red color. And we put it on our hair. Whitney's turned black as night. Holly's did nothing. Like, you can tell the difference. Mine turned like fucking bright orange. Which, like, it's funny now because I purposely have bright orange hair. But it was, like, not really a good orange because my hair was brown to begin with. And so it looked terrible. And then it didn't wash out, like, as easily as we thought it would. So I had, like, gross looking orange hair for a while, and Whitney had black hair. And I were like, oops.
Yikes.
Hi, Janelle.
Hi, Janelle.
Any more thoughts on children's books or other things
or anything else, really? Yeah. Doesn't matter. Whatever else.
Yeah.
My computer's driving me crazy.
I know, this lighting, this flashing. Sorry to everyone watching, because now it's just doing it
consistently. Yeah.
Please stop.
Hold on. Just do this for a second. Okay. Now just be cool.
Just be cool. Be cool.
Be cool.
Nope.
No.
I don't know. Sorry, guys. Hopefully it's not driving you guys crazy.
It's driving me crazy.
This is really psychedelic. Yeah,
Yeah.
Maybe you guys should just like do some mushrooms and then
maybe it would be fine. I don't know. Yeah, it's driving me crazy. I wonder what would happen if I just
I don't know. I have a feeling that nothing we do is. Oh, actually, that did help. No,
did it?
No, never mind. I spoke too soon.
I tried.
Anyway, next time I'll probably just bring my computer. If I need to make sure it has webcam capabilities, but
yeah, I don't know.
It probably does. Yeah. Anyway. Should we just go ahead and pick next month's challenge? Why don't we just do the one we almost did last time?
What was that one?
A book of genre fiction in translation.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so that'll be August.
Yes.
We'll do a book of genre fiction in translation. And I plan to read The Deep Sea Diver Syndrome by Serge Brussolo.
And I don't know what I'm going to read yet, so I'm open to suggestions.
Mine is a sci-fi ebook, I think.
That's pretty awesome.
So, yeah, I got it at a library sale. It sounds cool. I hope it's good. Yeah, should we just sign off? This is kind of a short one, but this lighting thing is driving me nuts.
It's driving me crazy.
And I'm sure you guys probably don't appreciate it either.
It's not fun to watch.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and sign off. And next time
we'll do the second Sunday in August, so the 12th?
Yeah, the 12th.
August 12th
at 6 p.m. At 6 p.m. Central Standard Time.
With no
we'll be back
strobe lighting.
And yeah, we'll use my computer and hopefully it won't
do whatever the
strobe out. We need some music.
Yeah, that's terrible. Terrible.
Yeah. So apologies for that. But thank you all for tuning in. And We'll see you guys next month.
See you next month. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.